So hello there parents. I'm very happy to be back with you for the continuation of a series of videos addressing different strategies to reduce the frequency in which you have to lift your disabled child on a daily basis. So if you didn't watch my previous video, I suggest that you go watch it by clicking on the link on the description below. So I remind you that the lifting effort that you perform on a daily basis with your disabled child are associated with an increased risk of musculoskeletal injuries.
Lower back pain is the most common cause of limitation among parents caring for a child with special needs.
Lower back pain is closely linked to repetitive lifting efforts.
Parents who have to lift their dependent child for transfers and movements on a daily basis are 14 times more likely to develop chronic back pain compared to parents of children who have more autonomy for their movement.
So let's look today at a second strategy that could help you reduce the number of times that you have to lift your child every day.
Involve your child in his transfers.
So I know that many of you are parents of a child with a severe motor disability. So I know in this situation that your child is completely dependent on you for all his transfers. So I know in this situation that your child is completely dependent on you for all his transfers and that he cannot help you, or at least very little. But here I'm speaking to parents of children who have certain motor skills and who can participate in their movements. I know too often that many parents tend to compensate a lot for their child's limitation or even do everything for them. By involving your child more in his movements according to his abilities, you allow him to develop a certain autonomy and you have to force less. So I present you some examples here which I hope you will make you think about ways to involve your child more in his transfers to allow you to reduce the physical effort.
In this video, I make a lifting effort by taking the little girl in my arms to place her on a bed. In this other example, I involve the little girl in her transfer by getting her to stand up and pivot to sit on the bed. This time, the transfer was effortless for me, and the little girl put her beautiful motor skills into practice. Of course, this second way of doing requires a little additional preparation but is much less physically demanding.
In this case, I reduce my physical load and I encourage the child to develop or maintain physical abilities, which will be very valuable when she gets bigger and heavier. So there are possibly several situations in your daily life where you would benefit from involving your child for the benefit of both parties. So these are some examples that I'm giving you that may not apply to your child's abilities and your particular situation. So I present you some examples here which I hope will make you think about ways to involve your child more in his transfers to allow you to reduce the physical effort.
Maybe your child can move from one room to the other in a house crawling instead of in your arms. Maybe your child could climb into bed from the floor on his own if you have an adjustable bed that goes very low. Perhaps you would benefit from having the height of your child's multi-position chair adjust to allow him to do a pivot transfer without having to lift him. Maybe you could use a small step to help your child climb onto his bike seat that is too high or into the car to avoid having to lift him.
So these are some examples that I'm giving you that may not apply to your child's abilities and your particular situation. So my goal here is to get you to think about the situations in your daily life and see how your child could participate more in his transfers so that you can reduce your physical effort. So I invite you to consult your child's rehab workers who will certainly be able to help you find ways to involve your child in his transfers according to his abilities. So watch for the release of my next video where I will discuss A third strategy that could help you reduce the number of times you have to lift your child on a daily basis: the use of transfers equipment.
Subscribe to my YouTube channel to be notified when new content is published. I also invite you to consult my website ensantepourtoi.com, where you will find lots of articles on ways to make your life as a parent of a child with special needs easier on a daily basis.